Welcome back to Rise and Shine with Eli, and the topic of today's video is, why do the best of us always get passed up or let go? One more time. Why do the best of us always get passed up or let go? This can happen in the workforce. This can happen in a relationship. This can happen in a marriage. Okay? And it's not easy to deal with, because when we've worked for a company for a long time and we've dedicated our hearts and soul to that company, right? Let's say you put in 5 or 10 or 15 years, and next thing you know, the economy tanks and they have to lay people off and downsize, right? Okay, that's one reason, why some of the best of us always are let go. Why? Because typically the best of us are making more money, and who are they going to cut first? Typically, when they're struggling, when a company's struggling to stay afloat, they're going to cut back the higher paid employees. Now, it used to be back in the days where companies would lay people off based on seniority, but nowadays, let me tell you folks honestly, seniority doesn't mean shit. One more time. Seniority doesn't mean shit. So that is one reason why sometimes the best of us, are always passed up or let go. Another aspect, in the workforce, I've said this before and I'll say it again. In many cases, like for me in the past, when I was in the corporate world and trying to move up, I was passed up even though I was more qualified, because the hiring manager or the promoting manager or the district manager, right, or vice president wanted to hire their buddy from the outside that's far less qualified. A lot of us good folks are getting passed up due to politics. And that's one thing I really didn't understand. When I was younger and this was happening, right? When I was in my early 20s, right? And at that point, my father was still around. And, my father and mother would both talk with me about, things happening at any one of the jobs I was working at during that time. And I was always complaining that I'm not getting promoted. I'm not getting, the raises I deserve. I work hard. I'm very accurate with what I do, whether it's running a cash register or, doing inventory or whatever it is. I was always very accurate, better than anyone else. But I would get passed up for promotions, and it would take me longer to make more money or move my way up, right? And I didn't do anything wrong. And I would always say, hey, look, they would promote these other people that are less qualified, and they hire people from the outside that are less qualified. And my parents would say, that's the way it works. There's lots of politics. You just have to keep your mouth shut, and eventually you will get promoted. And if you don't eventually get promoted, even when you keep your mouth shut and just do your job, then you gotta go find another job that's going to respect you more than the current company. And that was always a very, very hard pill for me to swallow back then. I used to always complain about it. And finally, when I got older, especially when I started, becoming self-employed. What I just mentioned is one of the main reasons why I became self-employed in my mid-30s, right around there is when I became self-employed. 33, 34 is when I became, 34 is when I became self-employed, I believe, if I remember correctly. It's because I didn't want to have to deal with this stuff anymore. And that's another thing you can do, if you don't want to deal with the BS and politics, working for somebody else or working in the corporate world and getting passed up all the time, try to, do something, that you can build on your own as a self-employed entrepreneur. Now, obviously, you can't just quit the job that's, keeping food on your table and a roof over your head, right? So you're going to have to work that job and then start a side hustle, like many people call it, start, your entrepreneurial business. And then, work on that and then get it to a certain level. And once you get to that level where you are close to replacing your income from your other job where you're working for somebody else or a corporate job, right? At that point, you may feel safe to the point of where your business is going to keep on growing, your entrepreneurial business is going to keep on going, and you can quit your job. And then at that point, you're your own boss, and no one can pass you up because you run the damn business, right? But yeah, life is not fair, folks. I keep saying this, right? Life is not fair, and there are so many amazing and wonderful people out there, and many of you may be even watching this video, and you feel me here because you've gone through this, you've experienced this, right? And it just keeps happening to you, right? Okay. My best advice to you is when this happens to you, okay, don't let it get to you. Okay, if you're at a job and you need that job to pay your bills, deal with it, but start looking for another job. And once you find that other job, put in your 2 weeks notice and leave quietly. Don't complain and go to that other job. That's going to hopefully provide you better advancement opportunities and more fair advancement opportunities. The truth of the matter is, the only way you can ensure yourself from not being passed up or dealing with politics, right, is to start your own business. And nowadays with the internet and YouTube and social media and all that, there are endless opportunities for any of you to start your own business. And if you need help with that, you can reach out to me at Coach Eli at coacheliasmelas.com, and I'd be happy to help you and work with you. You can go to my website, coacheliasmelas.com, and check out my phone coaching and email coaching packages, and I'd be happy to help you get on the right track. Another thing, sometimes I'm going to mention the dating aspect and marriage and stuff. Sometimes, this used to happen to me in my younger days. I couldn't understand why, women kept on breaking up with me, even though I was a good guy. I would take care of them, take them to nice dinners, weekend getaways, do all these really nice things for women, right? For a reasonable amount of time, for maybe a year or two. And then next thing you know, they would break up with me, right? And they wouldn't even tell me why they would break up with me. They would just break up with me, right? And, I ended up realizing that sometimes good people just get passed up because the people that were with you, maybe just weren't with you for the right reason in the first place. Or maybe they really loved you and cared for you initially, but they ended up falling out of love. And now I realize why. As I've gotten older, I realize why women let me go from the past, because I wasn't being man enough. I was being too nice. I was being overly compliant. I was, telling women, what I thought they wanted to hear instead of just being myself and saying how I felt, right? I got a big itch. I've been recording, some videos today in bulk style format. And another video I was recording, a couple videos ago, my nose started to itch pretty badly, and it's happening again. Excuse me a second. I should edit that, but I won't. That's why I can hide below my little table here. But anyway, so, I realize now why, women let me go. And, and even as I've gotten older, here's the thing. Even as I've gotten older, I've dated some great women. I had a relationship a few years back where a woman just let me go when everything was great. And all of a sudden, she just walked out of my place one night, and I never heard from her again. I tried to ask her what's wrong. She wouldn't tell me. That was that. What I think ended up happening, I've kind of shared this story in the past too. What I think ended up happening was, an ex-boyfriend of hers probably came back into the picture that she used to date for 7 or 8 years. And he probably came back into the picture, and because she has a stronger emotional bond with him, having all that time with him, she probably had to find a way to get rid of me without telling me she wants to break up with me because I've done nothing wrong. Maybe she felt bad about that, right? Okay. Sometimes the best of us are going to, are going to be let go, right? Okay. That doesn't mean we're not worthy. That doesn't mean we did something wrong. Hey, in some cases, maybe we did do something wrong and we didn't realize it. And maybe, being let go is going to allow us to, reflect back and, figure out what we did wrong so we can better ourselves for the next time, right? Right? But in some cases, it's out of your control. It's out of your control. You can't force people to want to be with you in a relationship. You can't force a business, someone else you work for or a corporation. You can't force them to promote you. You can't go up to them and say, hey, I'm the best qualified for this job. My till always balance is equal. I'm the fastest stalker. I am the most accurate inventory control person. And, I should have gotten this promotion, but you hire your friend from the outside, which I feel is BS. You say that, to a company you're working for, and they're going to suspend you, call human resources, get approval to fire you, and you'll be fired within a couple of days, right? Even though you're right, right? You just have to suck it up. It's just the way it is. Sometimes the best of us get passed up and are let go or are let go. And it is what it is. It's a part of life. It happens to everyone. Even people today that take advantage of the system and play the system, right? For example, when I was talking about, when I was working for these companies and I was the best qualified for the promotion, and the district manager would hire his friend from the outside over promoting me that was more qualified than his friend, okay? That district manager at one point was going through what I went through, right? Was dealing with things that I went through. Even those types of people have, been let go and passed up in the past. It's a shame now that, they've gone from that to finally getting where they want to go to, and then they're basically treating people in the same ways that they were treated. For example, the way this district manager treated me by not promoting me, being the best qualified for the job, and, promoting or hiring his friend from the outside that's less qualified, the way that he treated me is the way that he was treated, right? See, that's what I can't stand. That's kind of hypocritical there. But I think you get the point here, folks. In life, people are going to come and go from your life, okay? You're going to, work some jobs that aren't going to pan out. Some of them will pan out for a little while. Sometimes you may be at a job for 5 or 10 years and things were going great, but there was a management change, or, your company was bought out by another company and they changed the structure. Things are going to happen and things are going to change. And you just have to understand that sometimes even the very best of us are going to get passed up and or let go. And it doesn't mean we're broken. It doesn't mean we made a mistake. It just means that's the way things were meant to go. Chalk it up, to, hey, it is what it is. I keep saying, chalk it up to the famous saying that I was taught by a retail manager of mine, almost 2 decades ago or 15 years ago or so. It is what it is. If you learn that point, it is what it is. Okay? And you live by it, it's going to allow you to not let things get to you, and you're going to be able to move forward, restructure, and get a different job that's going to make you happy, become self-employed, and be successful at it. If it's a relationship that you were let go, if you're just able to say it is what it is, you can put yourself out there again with a positive attitude and find someone even better, folks. Hey, every time you're let go, or you're passed up, that gives you an opportunity to do something even better with other people or other companies, or start your own business. And that's where I'm going to wrap up this video here today. I want to thank you all for taking the time to view it. I hope you all learned something new. Please like, share, subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications. Have yourselves a great, great day, and I'll catch you next time. And as always, be good to each other.